What a day.
I heard there was trouble at Tarsus today.
Another thrill-packed afternoon, huh?
All WTO personnel are required to adhere to the air terminal security policies. Please refer to section 407.23 of your field manual.
I am authorized to use force.
The vehicle ran.
At least one trainee besides me reported to the authorities. Have you seen Leo?
No, but I've heard from Billy. She seems to be mixed up with the Order Church.
They can do what they want, I guess. I can't believe that Tarsus is a front after all those years of training.
What's going on back there?
A suspicious helicopter was circling the city. Fortunately, both the pilot and the aircraft are now in WTO custody.
Order reconnaissance?
The pilot will be interrogated. I shouldn't tell you more than that.
So you're on the WTO payroll now, huh?
I'm just glad I didn't have a reaction to whatever the Tarsus people were shooting into our veins, and now I've got a security assignment. That's all I ever wanted from that place.
Passengers and patrons should be prepared for delays.
Something didn't add up quite right on last night's shipment.
Yeah, it seemed like the paperwork was kinda odd on that one. They shuffled back to the Flight Bay 24 storage room so quickly.
They said it was for someone who wanted his shipment and privacy protected. Huh, I never trust those late-night deliveries.
George wasn't even around to sign for it. The more you talk about it, the more I think we should look into it. Someone's probably trying to get around WTO import regulations again.
Chief Morgan, you wanted to see me?
I want to hear what you know about the terrorist attack that led to your escape from Tarsus Academy.
The Order wanted to stop the experiment. That's about all I know.
We were watching that facility ourselves. Ever heard of an organization codenamed Apostle Corps?
Sounds like a cult.
Apostle Corps made your biomods. I'm not blaming you, but the technology diverges wildly from piezochem biomods, the only ones approved for sale.
You're investigating this Apostle Corps for patent infringement?
Market disruption. The genius of the Apostle Corps product is that it restructures any host DNA to tolerate biomodification, whereas the standard infusions work for only 1 in 20 patients. Apostle Corps could go commercial and devastate biomod prices.
In other words, you want modified people to hold their value, like real estate.
If you put it that way. We don't want another collapse. What you can do for us is follow up on your discovery at the Minister of Culture's penthouse. Check out the Mako lab north of town. We know they've been doing illegal weapons research, and that your former trainer, Dr. Nassif, has contacts there. You'll need to hire a pilot and leave at once.
You don't have any extra pilots?
The Chicago disaster is occupying every available craft. You shouldn't have any trouble finding a pilot at the Greasel Pit Bar in Lower Seattle. I don't care who flies you in, just get there. Mako is developing a new firearm called the Mag Rail. In addition to finding Nassif, the WTO needs an agent who can get us the Mag Rail schematic. I hope that will be you, Alex.
Guess I better check out the Greasel Pit.
The WTO is fighting an invisible war against several formidable enemies. Give us your loyalty, Alex. We need it.
What about the situation in the Inclinator?
Still unresolved. Our people have the area closed to pedestrians.
Please accept the sincere apologies of standard security. Our people should have screened out the terrorists at the lower Seattle entrance.
I'm not blaming you personally.
I'm the one who has to face the music, especially given the Chicago situation.
I have to admit, there's been some talk here of replacing SSC security guards with WTO military. I expect there will be some fallout. Just wanted to let you know that we have the situation in hand.
I took a peek at the club's records.
Yeah? What's that scumbag up to? Give me something I can get a warrant with, and it means a citizen's bonus to you.
Here's the data I uncovered. Looks like the owner has some undeclared sources of income.
I knew it! That man's made a fool out of me for the last time. By tomorrow, he'll be eating rats out of a Queequeg's dumpster. Mark my word. Here's your reward. I have some subpoenas to write. That's one thing about the WTO. Justice is swift. I've got work to do. I've got work to do. I've got work to do. I've got work to do.
I'd rather I've got work regulations.
WTO flights are usually on schedule, but not today.
Attention. All outbound flights have been delayed. Please see the flight monitors.
My business plan didn't have a column for acts of terror. Kind of messes with the Petrocino price point.
That bad?
I charge almost double compared to Queequeg's Coffee in Lower Seattle. Why? Terrorism, taxes, rent.
Rent, I hear you. The WTO shouldn't ration construction permits.
You're telling me. I know a guy who works at Symmetria. He says nanoformers could rebuild all of Seattle in about 5 years.
It's a shame.
To hell with an economic shock. People want the new cities and they want them now.
Just checking up on my investment. I'm betting the coffee's going to be big once the nanotech boom gets rolling again. It's those R&D guys pulling late nights that bring in the numbers. Once the WTO works through its security problems, I think we'll have a world-class business center here. All an investor needs is a little faith. All an investor needs is a little faith.
The new face of hate. They call themselves the Knights Templar and claim to be descended from Hudapan and the Temple of Solomon. They say that their war against the augmented and genetically engineered humans is a war against infidels. If the human body is a sacred book, then no organization has burned more scripture than the Templars. Stop the hate. Report all Templar activity before it's too late for your community. Cash reward for information leading to the identification of Templar high priests.
You care about the people who lost everything during the collapse. That's why you refuse to support companies like Queequeg's Coffee, which cut costs by exploiting poor bean growers. You support the new economy epitomized by Pequot's regulated, health-inspected coffee plantations, which have brought jobs and fair pay to tens of thousands. Pequot's, coffee for your kind of world.
In the wake of the unprecedented terrorist attack on Chicago, Enclave area residents are taking a harder look at those groups who oppose WTO expansion. Suspicion naturally gravitates toward the non-denominational faith known as the Order. But who are the Order? Today, the church's leader has hidden behind a cloak of secrecy, appearing to her followers only as Her Holiness. Furthermore, fundamentalists such as Lunan Saman champion a much stricter interpretation of Order doctrine. A toxic spill shut down the inclinator system early this morning.
It is not yet clear whether the substances being transported were mislabeled, prohibited, or simply mishandled by the Inclinator crew.
I smell that perfume somewhere.
The system will remain offline until the hazardous materials can be contained.
I guess business is a little slow because of the terrorist attack on the block.
Could be. Clive here was just telling me about it. Tarsus Academy, right? Usually the Order goes after the Inclinator.
Business is always about the same, since you asked. That's what I was saying. You can barely make a profit up here because of the high rent.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to pull so much volume if I had a branch in Lower Seattle. What's it to you?
Just curious. The Pequods in my hometown was always packed.
Personally, I think it's about time Lower Seattle, Queequeg's Coffee in particular, got their own taste of terror.
I hear you. Have something specific in mind?
Not that I'd want to see anyone get hurt, but I'd pay to see someone break in and set fire to their inventory of coffee beans.
Nice.
That's arson.
Very perceptive. You look like one of those Tarsus kids who hang around here. They do the job, maybe just lob a grenade in there or something. Interested in a little adventure?
I'd have to think about it.
The Queequeg's manager lives in apartment 21 of the Heron's Loft building. I bet you could find the code to the shop there. Careful, though. He's always loafing around at home, since he doesn't have to do the 24-hour shtick like us. If you're half the operative Leo is, you'll go for it. I'll be right here. It's not just the big boys who need to hire mercenaries, you know. It's ridiculous that anyone still buys low-tech Queequachinos when they could have bio-enhanced drinks like ours. Queequeg's got an early lead in the poorer neighborhoods, but they won't be able to compete for long. I'll be right here.
The new face of hate.
I should get a dog.
Interference with security systems is a criminal act.
A bonus? You expect me to walk into a chemical spill for a few extra credits?
What about you?
Are you kidding? Without a hazmat suit?
Every minute the Inclinator is offline, we're all losing money. Think about that.
You weren't on the platform when that stuff spilled. I don't even want to guess what it does to a person long term.
I'm sorry, the Inclinator is closed until we get this toxic spill cleaned up.
Don't you have any hazmat workers or bots to take care of it?
One nanoformer bot, but it's been so long since we've had an emergency that it's fallen apart. I can't believe someone tried to slip toxic waste past us.
Can it be fixed?
The only guy with the code for the repair bot's closet is trapped on another platform. We've also got a hazard flush system, and we've got the code for that one, 4781. But the remote access is damaged. I'm trying to get one of these fools to go up to the balcony overlooking the bay to hit the master control, but they're afraid of crossing through the spill.
We're not letting ourselves get threatened into risking our lives. You can't fire us for having some common sense.
I never said I'd fire you. I just said that we're losing money over this, and I may have to let someone go afterwards.
Right.
Anyway, I'm hoping to find someone with more guts than these guys to do some quick contract work for a decent number of credits. If you manage to take care of it, report back to me so I can pay you. Until then, no one's going to be able to get down to Lower Seattle. I can't risk putting the Inclinator back online until we're sure the area is decontaminated.
I hope Mathers is okay. We need his help to activate the repair bot. But if he comes through that cloud, it might kill him. If that nanoformer was up, we'd be fine.
You're nearing the toxic spill the facility director told you about. The WTO is reaping the benefits of its harmful industries. I guess a little pollution is all in a day's work up there. The area's been closed off, and they've deployed bots to patrol and secure it. May Holiness watch over you as you face these obstacles.
Analyzing evasive tactic. Processing anomaly.
The area is clear. Natural balance has been restored. You should meet with the facility director to let her know she can reactivate the inclinator now.
Repairing damage. Failed to complete task. Initiating repairs. Finished. Stay clear. Initiating repairs. Process aborted. New repair tasks welcome. Repairing damage. Finished.
Hey, that's not a good idea.
It's safe to leave this platform now. The spill's been cleaned up.
Thanks. I'm glad I didn't have to deal with it. I hope the director's paying you a fair wage, but in case she isn't, you might want to check out the repair bot storage closet if you haven't already. The code is 13490. Grab whatever you need. You earned it. Glad someone finally took care of it. I hope this means the director starts taking those cargo checks a bit more seriously.
Stay clear. Greetings. Air quality normal.
I've taken care of the problem. The area is no longer hazardous.
Fantastic. Here's a few credits for your trouble. Thanks again for taking care of that mess. Now that the situation is under control, we're going to need to tighten regulations so this never happens again. When I find out who authorized this transport in the first place...
Thanks for braving that mess. Thanks for taking the job. I don't know what the director was going to do next. Whew, I'm glad I didn't have to take care of it. You saved our necks. Now she can't fire us or force us to go in there. It's a good thing you came along when you did.
Glad someone finally took care of it.
Looks like things are getting back to normal. Glad the director found someone to clean up the spill.
to shut the Inclinator down completely. I've been saying that since it was built.
You said it wasn't gonna work, too. Then you said it was gonna get us jobs. You said everything, 10 times over. You call that predicting the future?
Think like that and they already got you script, man. That's their play. Make out like it was some low-town plot and see how we react.
Doesn't bother me. Only time I went up the Inclinator was when I got arrested. They'll always need us for their dirty work. Like my brother Danny. He cleans the bots that clean the floors up there. How would he get to work without the Inclinator?
He cleans cleaner bots?
I guess they never invented a bot that cleans other bots.
Well, they will. The whole point of an enclave is to be self-sufficient. Once they're established, they'll crash a helicopter into the Inclinator and blame it on a drunk smuggler.
Know where I can get a decent pilot?
Can't afford anyone in Upper Seattle. Don't expect to get a better deal just because you're in a scabby part of town.
I'm ready to pay well, if the pilot's worth it.
If it was me, I'd hire a smuggler. Someone with some experience, you know? Then the WTO Air Patrol could kiss my ass. Best place for that sort of thing is the Greasel Pit. It's just on the other side of the Inclinator tunnel.
I'm looking for the Order Church.
They've set up in the abandoned Hartford turbine factory. You a seeker? You don't look the type.
No.
She means that the Order doesn't pull down many enclave thieves. Plenty of kooks up there, but they're afraid of the old neighborhoods.
The church won't turn me away, though, will they?
Nah, they don't mind if you hang out in the chapel, as long as you don't fall asleep. Man, did I find that out the hard way.
So where's the factory?
Head south up the hill from the Inclinator. The old factory's just southeast across the street.
So you have a theory about the Inclinator disaster?
Not a theory. Fact. Fact. Inclinator traffic is half what it was 2 years ago. Fact. People this side of the Inclinator can't even get metro passes anymore. It's a complete WTO takeover, just like I predicted 5 years ago.
So it wasn't an accidental spill?
You believe everything you hear at a public terminal? The media is controlled by the WTO. Even the sorry scab standing next to me knows that. Want to make some money? You a gambler?
Depends on the odds in the game.
2 words, gob fights. I'm not kidding. Every night at the Greasel Pit on the other side of the Inclinator tunnel. Lived here my whole life. I know this town better than anyone. I can predict the future because I know the past. It's not just logic, though. I think I have the gift. I tried to work up a system for the commodities market, but it turns out my talent's more for general trends than specifics. Need a straight answer? About anything, I'll be standing right here. You're pretty friendly for a rich kid. Sure, stand here as long as you want. We're not doing anything important. You get tired of talking to the same idiots day after day. Lived here my whole life. I'm
careful walking around here at night. It's not so much the people as the gobs. You know, mutants. I lost my big toe to a greasel a couple years ago. I was a little drunk and it came at me from underneath a dumpster. Wish I could have afforded a real doctor. The woman I saw, She was more interested in hunting down the Greasel than fixing my toe. It was a baby Greasel that got me. The doctor caught it, raised it, and made a killing at the fights. I never saw one credit from the very gob I discovered and helped to track down. Still the champ, I think. They call it Gobzilla. Real cute. Whenever I talk about it, my toe starts to hurt. Thanks a lot. I'm not showing you my foot. I never saw one credit from the very gob I discovered and helped to track down.
Looking for a fight?
Ain't nothing.
The trader handles business. I am here to prevent unfair transactions. Scan complete. Your biomods are quite new, but we offer technology you cannot find in PiezoCam's labs. You will be impressed. Speak with the trader. The Omar appreciate shrewd customers. You will be impressed. Speak with...
Shall we conduct business?
What are you selling?
I have a black market biomod canister, which enables non-PiezoCam functionality. I am also selling 3 energy cells for powering your biomodified systems. Or you might want 2 EMP grenades for disrupting electronic devices, such as surveillance equipment. As a preferred customer, you may purchase items at half market price.
Maybe later.
Very well.
Today marks the one-year anniversary of the refinery riots, protesting the incorporation of Seattle into the WTO. Mourners held a candlelight vigil in remembrance of those killed in the chaos. After the results of the referendum were announced on this day last year, demonstrators took to the streets to make their anger and disapproval known. Protesters claimed that the vote had been somehow fixed and that the results did not reflect the will of the people, particularly those living outside the enclave. It took several days before peace returned to the streets of Seattle, but there were no further disturbances afterward, although some of the tension lingers.
You don't look like you're from around here. Not much is open in this neighborhood this late. At this hour, it's either the Greasel Pit Bar or the Order Church, depending on your interest.
status. Shall we conduct business?
I'll take the black market biomod.
The Omar appreciate your business.
You don't look like you're from around here.
It's not too late. Just because you took one assignment for the WTO doesn't mean that the Order won't accept you. Talk to Lin May. The Order needs your help and has its own interests in the Mako facility.
My alliances are my own concern, but yes, I'm heading to Mako next.
Be careful whom you trust. Only the Order can help you retain your individuality and find spiritual balance. All others are suspect.
Is the WTO really that bad? The enclaves are safe and prosperous. It seems like a solid foundation for the future.
The WTO, Tarsus, or any other corporate entity seeks only to exploit you. As far as Tarsus is concerned, we're experiments, not people. Just walking petri dishes. You know we're worth more than that.
I'll keep all of that in mind.
May Her Holiness watch over you.
WTO Chairman Dumier is irredeemable. He has led too many down the path of greed and disorder.
In time, we will open their eyes.
We are so fortunate that Her Holiness found us before Dumier could invade our spirits with such ruthless and selfish competition.
Each of them knows in his or her heart that something is still missing. True order, and soon they will begin to seek it, and we will be there to help them.
Yes, we will share with them the compassion and peace Her Holiness has shown us.
Welcome to the Order Sanctuary for this city, Alex D. We've been expecting you.
It wasn't exactly easy getting here.
We appreciate your dedication.
I did what I had to.
Please step inside. Join us for meditation. Her Holiness awaits your presence. Welcome, my friend. Human society has been twisted and subverted by those blinded by false prophets.
This is our haven from the madness and greed the WTO tries to spread.
Money is not the supreme reward or motivator.
Her Holiness inspires us all to reject the materialistic, profit-driven attitudes propagated by the WTO.
Ah, you seek solace from your everyday trouble.
You owe this search for true order not only to yourself, Alex D. of Tarsus Academy. You are alive.
You always speak the truth, Your Holiness.
Have faith. The Order Church condemns the illegal biomodification experiments performed on you and the other trainees.
Biomods are part of the training. We knew what they do to our tissues.
Your biomod architecture is no piezochem clone. The trainee's DNA has been completely rewritten. We are certain the one called Leo would have been ineligible for biomodification without extensive gene replacement.
Sounds like typical R&D, an innovation that would expand the biomod market.
The technology's uses exceed what you might expect. It could standardize the human organism, make all ability and talent into software modules, radically disrupt the social order.
You think there's a political agenda behind my biomods?
Yes, we have rescued you so that you can help us identify and defeat your creators. Please listen to my High Augur, Lin Mei Chen. She will contact you at the holocom in the other room. You must strive with your meditations to become a Pandita. Our Hindu brothers originated this goal, that of becoming one who is liberated or self-aware. Through this inward reflection, you can liberate yourself from chaos and disorder.
Repairing wounds. Healing functions complete. Restoration in progress. Tissue viability restored.
Unlocking your cyber can also help you achieve greater order, as the Muslims before you.
I'm here. You said you had more to say about the raid on Tarsus. What went wrong?
We're still investigating. I haven't heard from Captain Lamar since he disobeyed my orders.
Why should I join a group which is at war with itself?
Unifying the world's religions is a difficult enterprise. What we must do, and I ask your help in this, is determine what happened to Captain Lamar so that we can assess the operation. Just as you arrived, I got a report that he had abandoned his unit. Incidentally, my agents have been following your activities in Upper Seattle. We will talk about Mako Ballistics when you return.
One of your own captains? AWOL?
He was seen with a gang of local thugs linked to the Knights Templar. He did a little moonlighting after the Tarsus raid by coordinating a prison break.
Busy man.
He's pinned down in the Inclinator right now, negotiating with the authorities for safe passage out of Seattle. I want you to infiltrate the facility and learn what you can about this betrayal. Then perhaps we'll be closer to understanding his actions at Tarsus Academy.
What's the connection to the Knights Templar?
Unclear. One of their commanders was facing trial, and I guess Templar extremism appealed to some of our seekers. The church seems to be losing ground in disadvantaged neighborhoods, where the poor are quick to join any cause that makes them feel powerful. You owe this search for true order, not only to yourself, but also to your fellow humans.
The trader handles business. I am here to prevent unfair transactions. Behavior heuristic abnormal. Require reassurance.
None of that activity, please.
Interference with my systems will be forcefully resisted.
I will not allow that.
This is your second warning.
We better move on this. I ain't afraid to get Ain't nothing.
Stab action.
Get the stab!
fugitive appear to be having some sort of conference in the office overlooking the platform. Find out what this is all about.
Someone's there.
Maybe I can set up some target practice.
I'm certain it's nothing we can't handle.
I need some rest.
I'll avenge your death, noble one.
Can burn in hell. Human purity used to be her motto. Now she waters it down for Enclave types who don't belong in the church to begin with.
Let go of the church. You are a Templar paladin now.
I'm grateful for your forbearance after I failed to kill the test subjects and Dr. Nassif.
What you discovered could be more important. We now know that we face a network of scientists called Apostle Corps. It's hard to believe that they have agents inside the weapons lab.
Probably sleepers. Your MagRail contract is secure.
Still, I'm worried. We need to uproot this Apostle Corps before they compromise our modernization. I heard that the Grand Master will be ready to act within 2 months, but our army will need to be a match for all other armies combined.
Hey, how did you get in here?
Has Hyager Chen met your new friend?
I answer only to the Grand Master now, and I think I see in your eyes, yes, telltale signs of biomodification.
So?
So I've sworn an oath to exterminate defilers of the race. You cannot see.
Good work. That gives us a good starting point for unraveling the conspiracy. Please return to the church for your next assignment. I would like to know what Mako Ballistics has to do with the Templars, and with your own Dr. Nassif.
Authorized. Acknowledged.
The coffee's destroyed.
Yeah? All of it?
They'll have to replace the entire inventory.
Good work, Tarsus lady. Here's your compensation. I wonder what lucky corporations get to hire the Tarsus grads.
I'm afraid the school keeps its industry contracts classified, even from us.
I would expect as much, considering the hostile business climate. Anyone get hurt earlier tonight during the bombing, or whatever it was?
Some scientists. It was more like a raid.
Interesting. The Order doesn't usually get tangled up in corporate rivalries.
Well, thanks for the credits. I'd better be going.
Now I can expand into Lower Seattle without worrying too much about price point. It's ridiculous that anyone still buys low-tech quick-puccinos when they could have bio-enhanced drinks like ours.
Just checking up on my investment.
Authorized contact.
Just you don't look like you're from around here. Not much is open in this neighborhood this late. At this hour, it's either the Greasel Pit Bar or the Order Church, depending on your interest.
You owe this search for true order, not only to yourself, but also to your fellow humans. There is a far to be Alka-Fire of collective duty.
So some of your people have been recruited by the Templars.
Yes, and one of our best captains, too. The Templars appear to be assembling an army of mercenaries, and maybe those stories about Parisian gold are true. They seem to have very deep pockets.
What's the connection to Mako?
Those scientists at Tarsus Academy are part of an obscure group called Apostle Corps. They have a cell at Mako, which would concern the Templars because Mako is their main supplier of weapons.
Maybe that's where Dr. Nassif is hiding out.
Exactly. Your underlying mission will be to locate her. If perfected, the biomod architecture she gave you, being adaptable to any host, could bring biomodification to everyone and unbalance the very concept of the human being. But we have an additional favor to ask.
Go on.
The Templars have commissioned a new grade of firearm from Mako, the Mag Rail. The Order very much opposes the creation of any new weapons. Your other objective will be to locate the scientist in charge and kill him.
Won't Mako just hand the project to another scientist?
An assassination will send a message and cost the firm money. We want you to hire a pilot in Lower Seattle and get moving as soon as possible.
You can't get me a ride?
The Order is spiritually rich, but that doesn't buy many private jets. Go to the Greasel Pit Bar. You shouldn't have any trouble finding a pilot there.
No active weapons in the Greasel Pit. First I gotta transmit the safety lock codes to freeze anything you're carrying. Then I let you in. Otherwise, take a hike.
Go ahead, send the code.
Thanks. There's sensors that will reactivate everything on your way out. You're clear to go in now. Get ready to leave, just head out, and the sensors will automatically reactivate everything. Rules is rules.
But what about the apartment?
I already picked up my gear.
Your gear? You're leaving? Sid, you made me get this big place. Do you know how high my rent is?
Come on, I'll be back. You know this is home to me, Cindy.
Sandy.
Sandy, right. But a captain's got to sail if he wants to keep his ship. That's well. An Enclave kid comes down to cruise the slums on Daddy's credit line. First time at sea level?
My parents are dead. They were in Chicago at the time of the attack.
Oh, sorry, mate. Just talking chuff. No offense.
Sure.
Sid Black. Call me Sid. Best jet jockey in the Northern Hemisphere. So, you're on your own? If you need a lift, I'm game. All you gotta do is bail out my jet and give me a little something for my trouble.
Who has your jet?
Sophia Sack, crime boss of the port. Holds court in the Heron's Loft building on the other side of town past the Order Church. Took my jet because she said I came up short on a shipment, but she's a lying thief. Everyone knows Sid's never lost a load.
How much do you charge your passengers?
For a pretty lady like you, the going rate minus 20%. But I'm up to Swanee until I get those mercs away from my jet. Maybe you could arrange an accident, know what I mean? Take out Sack and her 2-bit security force. You look like the type. Wiry, steely-eyed, like this lady bounty hunter I dated once. Sorry, Plumcake. I can't do much till I get my wings back.
Yes, I'm upset. Leave me alone. He's always leaving me. It's always like this when he goes away. He was gonna take me with him this time. I'll get by, I guess. He was gonna take me with him.
I can tell when a girl's had some combat training. Have to in my business. Just saying goodbye to my girl. Always chokes me up a little. Cindy, lovely girl. Kind of a farfer to live with, though. Just kidding, babe.
Ha ha.
Chicks never listen when I say I run freight. Gotta be mobile to make a living in this trade. My luck's about dried up in this town, if you want to know the truth. Hope they haven't sold my ride for scrap yet. No worries, if you want to deal with Miss Sack for me, my lips are sealed. Let me know how it goes with Miss Sack. Hey, Cindy's standing right there. You want to trade life stories, let's wait till we're airborne, know what I mean? Sorry, Plumcake. I can't do much till I get my wings back.
It's always like this when he goes away.
How's it going? Hey, I got a lot on my mind. What do you want?
Real cute.
Okay, that's enough. That's it! Gonna make me have to hurt you.
Time to cool it, know what I'm saying?
More uptown thieves every day. You're probably here for the fights. Well, that spit contest ain't fighting. The pit used to be my gig, back when the sewer wasn't overrun with gobs. I was the champ, 3 whole months on top of the world. Give me a good clean fist fight any day. Strategy, training, skill. Now that's something to bet on. I don't get it. These new fights, they're just a couple of starved lizards at each other's throats. They fight them to the death. That's the main difference from when it was humans in the pit. Watching 2 poor gods tear each other apart. Now what's that say about human nature?
Can't get nothing from me. I'm all washed up. Talking about personal space, yo. Used to have this little single-prop airplane. Flew an ammo run for Sophia Sack. Not bad for a scab like me.
Okay, that's enough. You better cut that out.
That's enough. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I'm warning you.
Dumbass.
Okay, that's enough.
Respond.
You drink only the finest, most authentic coffee because you demand excellence in everything you do. You're well aware that
Another lucky night. Hey, I saw that. Bet 100 on chicken liver. 5 to 1 odds, baby. Time to cool it. Know what I'm saying? Are you nuts or what? Bad idea. Know what I'm saying? First fight of the night. Take it from me. You missed a wet one. I make it a point to scope out the rookies. They're too young to have fight records, so a lot of times their odds are all out of whack.
A new face. Interesting. Introduce yourself.
Is this the prank call or something? Funny way to meet people.
I search every place I can. You're very close, but not quite the one I'm looking for.
Close to what?
You look modified.
So?
I need help. I'm a helicopter pilot. They're holding me captive, along with my chopper, at the WTO terminal in Upper Seattle.
Right, I heard about your helicopter. How'd you get this call past WTO security?
I've tapped into the terminal's local network. The passcode to the hangar holding my vehicle is 00485. Get me out of here, and I'll fly you anywhere you want, free of charge.
I could use a pilot. I'll think about it.
Hey, yo, nuh-uh. Time to cool it. Know what I'm saying? Seriously, that ain't gonna play. Chicken liver was a serious player because of the chipped teeth.
Pit's downstairs. Want a tip? Bet on Green Dragon. The thing about a Greasel fight, it has more to do with upbringing than breeding. A Greasel's a Greasel.
But I talked to Mr. Carter, one-on-one. He laid it all out, straight up.
Uh-huh.
Templars stand for something, you know. It's ancient, it's philosophy, and it scripts the paps of all that Her Holiness love and meditate and mumble to yourself.
These guys are mercenaries. They pitch whatever creed their boss tells them to.
Just haven't ever really studied the Knights Templar. They have the same basic ideas as the Order Church, but they believe it, they fight for it, and they don't rip off a bunch of other religions.
Her Holiness wants to bring everyone together. It's called koinonia, fellowship and communication. Yeah, koinonia. I think it's Greek.
You seekers are just little parrots. Cheep, cheep, cheep. Repeating a new batch of words every week. There's a new sheriff in town, in case you want to know. My new boss, we call him Mr. Paladin. He made me a knight. That's right. Like Sir Francis Drake, like Sir Francis Bacon, like Sir, I can't remember what the other one was. A lot of people say they're seekers. They just go along with the Order Church because it's so in your face all the time. Hey, I saw that. People are mad. Sewer gobs killing their kids, pollution, nanite swells as big as hurricanes, cyborgs in the alleys, all fallout from the big labs. Bad idea. Know what I'm saying?
I am studying Accolot, the mental factor for inebriation. That was a joke. Seekers can make jokes, can't they? Our faith spread like wildfire just after the collapse, but now everywhere I go, I see skepticism. Perhaps my friend is right. Perhaps our terminology has become too sophisticated. Our message was much simpler in the beginning.
I really don't appreciate that.
We need to find the right balance between truth and persuasion, between a complete science of mind and the value system that follows from it. Templar bigotry is merely a bastard creed. It has nothing to do with the search for true order. If the Templars' twisted ideas are permitted to spread, they will lead only to great suffering.
What I'm about? Take back. Take back our streets, take back our bodies, take back our minds. Just wait. Templar's gonna have their day. My new boss, I call him Mr. Paladin.
Take your nonsense elsewhere.
Leo,
Chicago, you made it out.
what are you doing down here? Signing up with the order trips like Billy?
Terrorists.
The WTO? Chief Morgan seems pretty intent on recruiting us.
Leeches. They want a monopoly on everything, including security agents.
Then what are you going to do?
You need work, you go to the pit. This is what I did. I found work. Mercenary. Black market. In a few hours, they sent me to Egypt. You said you never heard of Leo Jankowski? Well, you just wait.
I thought you wanted to be a corporate heavy.
I've been thinking about this. I don't want to be a lab monkey or be in anybody's army. I don't want to be a piece of meat they fight over. Corporate heavy, maybe. But right now, I work for myself.
Why Egypt?
I'm working for the Omar, you know, the cyborgs. They're a global operation these days.
What are they paying you?
I'm protection to help them open shop in a Scabland Medina near New Cairo. 2,000 per week, plus mods.
Not bad. What kind of mods?
Anything I want. Anything. The best mods are black market, attack drones, bot domination. This will add value when I go back to the corporate market.
Well, good luck out there.
Also, my Omar contact says they have stuff that goes way beyond biomods. Luck will not be a factor for me.
I've learned some things about the experiments they were doing on us.
Yeah?
Tarsus is a front for something called Apostle Core. They gave us an experimental biomod architecture, one that can supposedly reconfigure anybody's DNA to accept nanite infusions.
Well, as long as it works.
That's what the Order and WTO are fighting over. Universal biomodification.
Universal? Are you sure? That would screw up the market pretty bad. Why would Tarsus want to undercut their own product?
I told you, Tarsus is a front. No one's quite sure what Apostle Core is after.
Funny way to end up a free agent. I'm not anybody's pet project. I wonder if they even cared how we did at the training. Or was it purely a medical test? Funny way to end up a free agent.